Okay, so I'm not sure if this is part of the gang stalking, but listen to this. Listen to this. Do you hear it? It's so funny, just stop. That was happening for random police sirens going off for almost 2 to 3 minutes straight. Noise harassment, street theater. So I came to some realizations, and I'm pretty sure I was exposed to some sort of stimulant in my parents' car. And you ask yourself, you're maybe wondering, why would you associate with your family if you know that they're gang stalking you what do I mean to say gang stalking you? That was a Freudian slip. Oh my God, that was a Freudian slip. I didn't mean to say that. Oh shit. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say being mean to me or bothering me. I didn't expect this to turn out the way that it has, because I had a great upbringing. It's like somebody swapped my parents out for it's bizarre. I don't know if I was framed for something or talked poorly about, I don't know. And because that's what happens, I've heard with targeted individuals, that you'll get framed wrongfully for things that you're incriminated or set up. I don't know if that's what happened. I have no clue. But this whole thing is a hot mess. I'm just going to be very dead ass honest. This whole thing is a hot mess. But I got in my parents' car, and it didn't feel like pesticide. It felt like something else, like a stimulant or an opioid. Now, I don't have a bunch of opioid test kits on hand, but I've come to this conclusion. Interesting. My mom doesn't want me to do a YouTube channel as well. I feel like sometimes I'm being treated like a child, like a 10-year-old, thing. And then the things that they use over my head. And I'm mentioning this stuff, I'm saying this because there could be other people out there who are going through similar situations where they felt very, close to their family, because I was really close to my family. My brother was my best friend. His wife I was really close to. My mom, we were like peas in a pod. And now she loathes me. The woman loathes me. She tried to basically, I think today, what I think happened, I think she tried to frame me in order to get me to seem agitated and act out overtly so she can institutionalize and commit me. When I was in Virginia, I'll never forget that she kept insinuating that she tried to basically, she's like, I don't know who you're being right now. You need help. She basically gaslights me to make me feel like I have some sort of mental illness that I don't have. And this is textbook gang stalking. It's insane. I don't know if they're demonic. I don't know. Literally, I kid you not. I think, and I go, are my parents, how do they have access to these things? How would my family have access to a substance like methamphetamine? Unless they themselves maybe are into that stuff, which I've never been told ever in my life. My parents growing up were pretty straight-laced. We went to church. I thought, I don't know. When you grow up, when you're an adult and you step outside of things, you start to see things clearly. And, illusions and masks come off. Because they are convinced. I realized today, I think that was a setup attempt at it. Because if I was high and I didn't even realize it, I could have acted out overtly. My mom and I got in not a fist fight, but we got physical at one point. And if she got her way, I would have been institutionalized and committed. Because she would have said, oh, my daughter laid hands on me, or you know, it got really bad. Do you hear this? I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the cops are doing right now. I don't know what they're doing. Also, another development is I could barely walk. I don't know what is in my water, but I told my parents, I go, there's either bee venom or something that's affecting, or because I know there's stuff called energy weapons or whatever, electronic harassment, and allegedly people can like target your muscle groups and like your heart and other organs in your body without ever touching you, and then you could like legit have a heart attack or like a blood clot or a seizure or a brain hemorrhage or a stroke. This is my life now. I'm not trying to complain. It's just, it's an observation. And this is so hard to prove. I don't know how I got in this mess. And the fact that like my parents keep, it's so obvious now. And I just said, I did a Freudian slip. I didn't mean to say my family's gang stalking me. I meant to say that they're negating it or not believe or discrediting me. So it's very tough because I told them today, I feel like I'm a burden to you guys because they have to help me pay my minimums on my credit cards. Because I accrued a lot of debt because of all the moving that I had to do in the past 6 years when all this started. Because I was trying to find reprieve with all the weird shit that was going on in Miami. And so, like I said in my other videos, which I'll post, I don't know if tonight or tomorrow, I'm so grateful that I'm still alive. I'm going to be dead ass honest. I'm so grateful that I'm still alive. God is good. I literally told my parents that I said, God is good. Because here's the thing with gang stalking and targeting. They don't touch you. So for all the people out there that are civilians that are like, I mean, I say civilians, I'm a civilian, but for all the people that are like, oh, you know, this is a thing, adults bully each other, and like my mom is convinced adults don't bully each other, and she tells me today, she's like, try to keep a job, you quit everything you start. I'm like, wow. I'm like just wow. My mom, it's insane how people change. And she's like, you're such a martyr, you've changed. And I'm like, no, you've changed. It's almost like the plan failed. I don't know what plan that was or what the plan is, but I told her I think I was scapegoated. I don't know what secrets they're keeping within my family. I go, but this is not normal. Unless they're acting. They could be acting. I would love to believe that my family's acting. That would be awesome, and that everything's just a test and they're just studying, you know, the effects of emotional deprivation and neglect on me, and studying, you know, my reactions to trauma and abuse. That would be sick. That would be disgusting if there was a group of individuals who purposely were coaching certain people on triggers and teaching them how to act and to psychologically sabotage. And you know, I try to find different instances. I go, how do you communicate or narrate like psychological sabotage? It's obviously gaslighting is number one, making someone misperceive a certain situation. So I'd say, hey, I don't feel good. I tell my mom this, I don't feel good. My legs from the knee down, especially lately, have been feeling very weak, and I haven't been diagnosed with like MS or an autoimmune disorder or neurodegenerative disorder, but it feels like that. Now, that could be what they call in the targeting world energy weapons. So what that is that like basically you get fried like a French fry. That's the best way I can explain it. You get waves. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. But basically, human skin, human organs are not supposed to be penetrated with radioactive substances. Well, no, I take it back. In nuclear medicine, I take it back. In radiology, there's certain in nuclear med, there's radioactive isotopes that are injected into the body that are safe, that are non-lethal, that actually help it's an interventional radiology and a fluoroscopy, and it helps certain parts of the body light up, so you can see that on a fluoroscopy, like X-ray kind of thing. But that's, or a nuclear med, like there's PET scans, ictal spect scans. So, but anyways, the human body is not supposed to be used as a conduit or medium to be bombarded with things like radiation. I mean, I take it back, we're constantly being bombarded with radiation, like regardless. Like there's radiation on our cell phones, there's radiation, you know, outside, like it's everywhere. But what I learned from other targeted people is that, and I don't like researching it, I'll be honest, I really don't. It's just so shitty because it makes working so hard. It makes living hard, because these people, what they do is they basically, like, they try to take your life slowly. You know, that's the only way I can explain it. You piss someone off who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows another person, then your life, that's it. You get marked. I told my parents today, I go, you get marked. You get marked by these people, and slowly they play games with you. It's like cat and mouse. Like, they probably like the fact that I'm doing a video about it, because in a sick way, I'm giving credence or attention to their game. And people that are narcissists and sociopaths, they thrive on that attention. They need that attention to feel whole. You know, for me, my why, my happiness, I feel rewarded when I get to help other people. Like when I was a child specialist and I helped kids in the hospital and I cuddled babies and stuff, like that was my happiness. And so for me, you know, I just realized, I think that wasn't a simulation. I think someone did something with my name. It just dawned on me now. I don't know who did this. Someone's, I think, did shit with I just don't know what though. I don't know if it's fraud or like, I don't know what, like how people do it. I don't know what, but I think and you know what it is? I got this vibe just now. I don't know why. Intuitive download. It's amazing when you can't be manipulated anymore, everything comes to you. Everything, like the insight, the clarity. I think someone tried to set me up or incriminate me with someone else, and my family knew about it, and my family knows. They know, and they were okay. Like, I think, literally, I'm not kidding. I don't know what it is though. I don't know what. I don't know how to commit identity. Like, I don't know how to commit fraud, so I don't know what it is. There's healthcare fraud. There's insurance fraud. Tax fraud. All I used to know is about credit cards, like when you swipe someone's credit, but I've never done that. So either maybe this was years ago, or I don't know, but I just got that vibe just now. I go, and people think I'm lying. They think that I'm lying about something. They think that I'm a fake good girl. Like, they think it's all an act, and I'm like, no. I'm like, this is me. Like, I don't lie. May God strike me dead. I mean, okay, perfect evidence. If I was a ruthless killer, right, murderer person, or horrible lying, cheating sneak, I think because of the targeting, I would have died already. I think I have spiritual divine favor over my life. I'm not saying that in like a boastful way, but usually people who are, you know, say chosen, or people that are divinely chosen by God, or star seeds or whatever, they have gifts and abilities, and you could talk shit about them as much as you want, and you can try to frame them, but somehow, some way, God or the universe will conspire for that person. And someone needed an excuse to have me targeted. Because I refuse to believe that all of this is happening because of one guy that I did a police report on in Miami, Florida. And 6 years later, 6 years, folks, 6 years. 6 years. I've heard about veterans that have gotten stalked. Like, they served their country and then they get gang stalked. What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? It's like an organized crime ring. Slow kill, no touch torture stuff. and I've survived it. It's a blessing. Like, I'm a cat with 9, 10, 11, 12 lives. I will say, though, that I think, and I'm learning this now, there are some people that I've realized, and I go, should I cut them out of my life? It's hard, because not just like my family, but other people that I meet, and then they say, oh, I'm a targeted individual, and I'm like, are you, though? Because they're doing some psychological reverse psychology on me of, like, you know, trying to say, like, oh, you're not drugged, you're not being poisoned. And I'm like, I did a drug test, 3 drug tests. I don't have do I have any? Let's see. Where's the contacts page? Let's see. Do I know any drug dealers? Nope. I have a lot of former colleagues and co-workers on my phone. I don't know how, when people do drugs and stuff, how that works, but here's the thing. With targeting and gang stalking, when your family turns against you and stuff, what happens is that they will put you in compromised situations, and they will work with other people that are crooked to, I think, try to stage an overdose or make you seem mentally ill or mentally incompetent so that you can get institutionalized. I don't know if they get a stipend or paid off for that. And it's a sad day that I'm even saying that about my family. It's a sad day. It's toxic. It's a toxic family. And if you say, oh, then why are you still associating with them? I don't have anyone else in my life. The few people that I thought, like one guy that was like, I considered, like, we dated or whatever. He was like the first guy that I ever hooked up with, ever. Like, I was a virgin till 32. And he, I thought, now I don't feel anything at all. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I don't feel anything. Like, but then again, at the same time, we really didn't talk that much. He was not very communicative. We just really talked about sex. And even there's some guys that I've hooked up with before who it was just merely or purely a casual connection. And they talked more than him. But the thing is, I was trauma bonded to him because he was consistent in showing me attention. And I confused attention with safety and comfort and security. So be mindful of that, folks. Be mindful. Also, trafficking is a very real thing. I think these people traffic women and, God forbid, maybe even children. I don't know. It's really sad. I did not know this goes on in America or globally. And I'm like, how am I going to survive this shit? I mean, imagine, like, you need breakfast, right, to eat. I don't even have a normal breakfast. Like, these people took away everything that I need to survive. Besides having, even in my apartment, I think they rig it. I don't know if it's with the radiator or how they do it. I think they're able to put gases and stuff in my apartment. Look up Ella Gorla. She was going through that too. I don't know if she's still going through it now, but she was going through it. She was a high-powered executive at Estee Lauder, and she, like, whistle blew about something, and then they came after her, and they tortured her, and then the police were like, she would call the police, and they'd be like, they'd hold their jackets, and they'd be like, oh, ma'am, what's going on? Because she filmed the whole thing, and she'd be like, there's a gas, and I can barely breathe, and I'm almost, like, suffocating. She's like, I had to open the door to the hallway, and they're like, ma'am, we don't see anything, and we don't notice anything. Body language. If you guys ever want to know, I'm not I promise I don't work in the government. Funny enough, right? You would think that with psychology background I would, but when someone when you're going like this, you're crossing your arms, you're trying to protect yourself. You're also closing yourself off. Like, I'm protecting myself. I'm being, I'm owning my space. Going like this is an alpha male asserting dominance. Like, that kind of thing. And, they discredited her. She also went to a, I don't know if it was Panera, or she went to a burger place, and she thinks that they put, like, a sedative in her burger. She thought it was Benadryl. But it's insane. These people are pure evil. Pure evil. And they want to literally try to sabotage. I wonder if people get paid money. They must get paid good money. Like, for all the people that are targeted individuals, if it's human trafficking, then essentially you wonder how much a life is worth. And I remember on my YouTube feed, someone put up a thumbnail that said, "How much is a human?" And they had tags, like, on each human. And my mom today, when I told her that, she's like, "No, that's like when people get people and they put them in a van." And I'm like, if you drug someone, right, Mom? You expose them to a noxious gas or something that incapacitates them, like a roofie or sedative or tranquilizer, and they get knocked out. Anyone could be a trafficker, folks. Please be mindful of that. The nicest of people that you think that are next to you, pedestrians, they could be traffickers. I promise you. Now, I don't know what the federal guy, and I'm pleased, I wanted to be a federal agent at one point. I kid you not. I wanted to be a special agent. I applied when I was in Philadelphia, and I said, this is bullshit. Like, I need to take matters into my own hands. I need to figure this out. And I wanted to become a federal agent. And not one of the ones that could be bought off. I'm not affiliated with any sorority, fraternity, club, organization, institutions. No. I wanted to do it the right way, the honest way. Because you never know the politics of things, right? Just like when you go to middle school and there's cliques and stuff, I'm sure there's a hierarchy within law enforcement. There's the rookies, and then you have like the semi-experienced ones, and then you have like the top tier, I would have been probably hazed, or the weird spiritual girl with supernatural abilities or whatever. This is the moment where I am, my nature, my true temperament, I am very docile, I am very sweet, I am very kind. Literally, my favorite color is pastel pink. Like, my personality is like cotton candy. That's my personality. I'm like if I was a flower, I would either be a sunflower or a hydrangea or a daisy or a tulip. And I love flowers. That's my normal disposition, right? Is kind, carefree, loving. This is where I tell myself I don't want to have my heart hardened by this, because people can be so mean. And on top of that, if it's all just like a case study thing where people want to study someone's reactions to abuse, oh my God, I don't even know where to begin with that. I told my parents today, I go, you guys realize that this is domestic violence, right? I was like, if I had proof, somehow to prove that there was meth or some stimulant that I was exposed to, I would be able to take legal action. But because I'm, it's almost like I also feel like I'm in I don't know what program that is, but it's like basically, I think they use a bunch of drugs and they test out different things on me to see how I tolerate them. Like, I'm a human guinea pig, basically. That's the best way. And then they want to scare me shitless, like, as if this was Fear Factor. And I'm like, do I have rights? Like, the Nuremberg Code, like, did we do that or no? What am I going to win? Is this a competition? Am I going to get a prize? Do I get a cookie? Do I get a round of applause for a job well done and perseverance? It's bullshit. And I'm frustrated because it's like, how am I supposed to live my life when I have people doing invisible torture tactics, right? And how do I tell my mom that, I go, how am I supposed to eat breakfast? I feel like my eggs are I know that sounds crazy to say that. I Googled, can someone poison an egg, and you would think that they couldn't, but guess what? Someone can. They can inoculate eggs. I kid you not. Go Google it. I do my research, people. I didn't do a graduate, I did a thesis. I did do like a final semester project, like a paper. I think it was on infant mental health. It was infant, age appropriate, developmentally friendly, infant development, brain development. Or no, the effects of screen time on infant brain development. I think that's what I did at Walden, because my focus was with children and child development, child psychology. So yeah. It's really shitty. And so I did Google. I go, how can you tell if some eggs were not? And you can, there's ways. It'll have a little bump on it, by the way. If you ever wonder if you're checking, always check your eggs, by the way, because it'll have a little bump on it. You'll see like a raised edge. Now, who would sit there and inoculate a bunch of 12, 36, 48, 60 eggs? I don't know. But that's someone who really has it out for someone. Hear that? I don't know what that is. Pretty crazy. And that's the thing, when people want to go, because I have had people reach out to me and they're like, oh, it's the government, right? Sometimes I go, and I have my little cards here, and I go, God, is it the government? Why would they? And that's the thing, my mom tries to say, why would anybody, because this started in 2021, right? And I go, what would they have to do with me? Little Ashley, like, what would they have to do with me? I'm not a threat to anybody. I keep to myself. I was working with kids. I like to sing on occasion. I did ballet. If I could, I'd rescue. I would work at a Humane Society rescue, volunteer. I've been wanting to do that. I love animals. I love talking to elderly people, as weird as that sounds, because they have a lot of wisdom. Like I would probably spend hours talking. If I met a decent guy and he had a cute little like nonna grandma, like Italian grandma, I would probably spend hours just sitting at a table listening to her talk. Because that's the kind of person I am. So, what the fuck is going on? Literally, what the fuck? Excuse my language. And if there's any future employers that because my parents basically think that my channel can be found, and I told them no, it can't be, because my channel, I'm pretty sure, doesn't come up. I did it on purpose, so I don't mention my name in it, but this is insane. I get exposed to noxious gases, asphyxiants, allergens, I think maybe viruses, because there was one point, I don't know if it was COVID or something, but I felt like my chest, it was horrible. I had an upper respiratory something. It was a virus, or it was horrible. I think I had people come into my apartment and tamper with things. Like I used one of my utensils to cut pizza, and I haven't used it before, the pizza cutter. I think they put, I don't know how, maybe I'm wrong, but it was like I never noticed it before, or I never thought about it, and I touched the pizza cutter and my hands felt a little funny and numb again. So that's lovely to know that there could be people who can come into my apartment and like hitmen, and they want us to be like, no, it's not a hit. And I'm like, well, what is it then? A science project? Is this a science lab? Am I like in a Bellevue hospital, psychiatric facility? I don't have psych issues. The narcissists do. Because narcissists who are mentally ill and sociopaths become obsessed with the destiny and the trajectory of a target individual. And then they'll try to paint them out and discredit them as if like, oh no, they're not a problem. I would give anything right now. I wish there was like a guardian angel, like, you know, like in Cinderella where they have like the fairy godmother. I know that sounds very like childish and whatever. I grew up watching those movies, but like, really? Okay, they're revving engines now. But like, I wish, you know, there's a scene, and Lily James did such a beautiful job in that movie. Kenneth Branagh, the director, did such a good job. And there's a scene where she's like crying, I think, and Helena Bonham Carter, dressed as like an old, like haggardly woman, you know, very unattractive with like a cloak over her. She looks kind of like homeless or whatever. And she actually turned out to be this beautiful like fairy godmother. If you haven't seen the movie, please go watch it. But she's crying, and she's like, because her stepmother and the stepsisters just, it's funny, the cat in that movie, the cat in the Cinderella movie is named Lucifer, because the evil stepmother has a cat, and she named it Lucifer. It was Kate Blanchett did so good in that film as well. And forgive me that I don't know the names of the two. Oh, Grisella and Drusella, I think, are the names of the characters, but of the stepsisters. But they treated her, those people, they gang stalked her. Cinderella's mother gang stalked her. And that character, I would say, you know, out of all the Disney characters, probably the princesses at least, I think Cinderella was the one that, like, I don't remember it in its entirety, but Sleeping Beauty, Aurora, Rose, right? And then her character, I don't have blonde hair, but, you know, that character, and then Cinderella herself. I always resonated with that because I felt like I was treated like dirt. And I'm sorry if I cry, but the way that Cinderella loved her father. You know, there's a scene in the movie where the father goes, I need to go for a travel, you know, on a journey, embark on a journey. And he tells this to Cinderella and says, you know, your sisters requested parasols and lace. What do you want? And she says, you know, I want you to find the first brush of twig on your journey, and then keep it with you for the entirety of your journey, so that you will be with it, and it'll be a reminder that you had it and that you thought of me, and then you bring it back to me because it has your energy or whatever. And that's something that I would say, because I love nature and I love trees. And I probably would have said, maybe take the first flower, you know, that you see along your path. I would have said something like that. And the stepsisters were like, we want parasols and lace. Because the father really loved his daughter. And his first wife, unfortunately, in the movie passed away from illness. And then the new wife, the stepwife. The first wife was, Cinderella's mother was like, you know, beautiful and so gracious and humble and kind and down to earth. And then the second one, played by Kate Blanchett, was just a bitch in a nice dress who disguised herself as being endearing. So they made like an arrangement with each other, you know. They made an arrangement with each other to be, you know, companions to one another in the later years of life. And, you know, and then the mother treated Cinderella like dirt, and she put her in the attic. And then Cinderella was like, she made the best of the situation, the character. And she found little Gus, the little like creatures, you know, in the floorboards. She was even nice to the cat. And then she ended up becoming like a slave servant girl to the family. To be honest, I feel like I can kind of relate. I mean, not to say that I'm like a servant girl, but I feel like I've been relegated to nothing. I mean, my mother today literally told me, you know, our entire family thinks you're a low-life good for nothing. That's what my mom told me today. I hope she was acting. I should have recorded that. Is that verbal assault? I don't think so. Verbal assault is when you threaten someone. That's just verbal abuse. And because in my heart, I believe that everything can get better and change, you know? And my family was like one of the things that I loved the most in this world. And it's like, God forbid I want to do what I want to do. Forget about gangstalking and targeting. Imagine if you're a 34-year-old woman and you're trying to navigate your way in life, right? And you're being met with, oh, you can't do it. You're going to fail. Like, that's not going to work out. It's not. And the thing is, with my family, or maybe other people can relate, there's parents who impose their will upon another child as an adult. And because I want to be the good daughter, I don't like to be defiant or rebellious in any way, you know? And so I acquiesce to keep the peace. That's not fair to me. I get it that our parents have more experience than us. But one thing I know is that if I was a mother, I would learn from my daughter, my son. I mean, I would be the authority figure, but I wouldn't take that role and be like, I am your caretaker. Like, I would be their caretaker, but it's not coming from an authoritarian perspective, like, what I say goes. Like, you don't have any say in the matter. It should be more of like a, let's work together. Let's work together to figure things out. Like, I'm here for you. I got you. Not, you're going to fail. You won't be able to rent a car. They're going to shut you. I get it. Like, my credit line could shut down. I get that. But this is an emergency to me now, because I'm being emotionally stunted and abused and violated. That's not a funny case study for behavior. No daughter in her early 30s, late 20s, whatever, like, no one should, or son. So what do? Do you stay complicit and compliant? Do you stifle your voice? I wish in my heart, like, and this is where sometimes I go, you know, Walt Disney himself, he imagined this world that started with Mickey Mouse, right? And that grew into, like, you know, Disney Animation Studios, whatever. And then sometimes though I go, were we socialized to believe in these fairy tales but that they don't happen? I don't know. I don't know. I lived, you know, it's frustrating because I lived my life the right way. I did everything right. I waited to have sex until 32. And this is really, like, vulnerable of me to get on a phone and record myself and say this, but maybe it's supposed to help someone else. And I mentioned the sex thing because that's such a normal thing, right, in life, to do that. My brother did it way earlier than me. He was like 17 or 18, I think. I know this is a very personal thing. It's like almost like a video diary, but again, this is real life. This is my life. And I don't want to be held back because of this bullshit. And if it was all staged and simulated and scripted, you know, like like, I don't even know where to begin with that. It doesn't feel like that anymore. Now it feels antagonistic. I have on my laptop a sticker that says, "She believed she could, so she did. Let your dreams stay big and your worries stay small." That's from the Rascal Flatts. and trying to communicate to them about my safety. It's like, and then this is the crazy part, and I know this is going to sound super conspiracy theory, but I don't know if my parents would ever take something like an antidote or something to prevent themselves from getting sick. I worked at a hospital, I'm not going to say which one, and I was having issues with the HVAC systems in different apartments I was in, and when I got there, maybe like the second or third day, we were in the office with the other women that were there, and all the girls were wearing a mask on their face. I wasn't. I was getting oriented to the electronic medical record system that they use there, and I kid you not, one of them stands up, she's like, "Oh, the air is so fresh in here. We're breathing such good air." And I'm like, she was very exaggerated about it. And then a few seconds later, I felt like I was fainting. Like I felt like I was slowly losing consciousness. So I thought on my feet and I go, "Let me cover my mouth like this." And I was like, and I go, "Okay, I have a few minutes left to, So I managed to just, and whatever it was, it had such an impact on me that it almost made me like pee without going to the bathroom, if that makes sense. Like it made me empty my bladder without actually peeing. It was bizarre. Same for my bowels. I felt like I had to go to the bathroom. So I don't know what it was, what gas that was. And it was frightening. That's an occupational hazard. I'll never forget, we walked out of the office and then we took the other hallway and then we went down and there was the morgue and then the ER, and it reeked of formaldehyde from the morgue because they opened the doors, and then the ER was there, and I like covered my face. I was like, and then I went to Panera to get a Coca-Cola because I was like, I need caffeine. This has been my life, folks. I know you guys, someone's going to be quick to say, "Ashley, that it was the government and you were in, Virginia and that's DC. I get that. I know that could be the case, possibly. But my thing is, why? What do they get out of that? What do they get out of that? And would we do that, As an American people? Is that civil? Is that just? Is that fair? No. And trying to convey this and relay this to my family, it's futile. And I sincerely did. I told myself, should I become a cop? I mean, I don't think I could do it. I'm too nice. I don't think, and then I would be in it. Because, in the gangstalking world, the police, there's speculation, and I was kind of bullied by police. But I also believe in the goodness of humanity. I don't give up on that. I don't give up on that at all. I'm good. Not to say that's going to generalize to everybody, but if there's one person who chooses to do the right thing over and over and over again, when you could choose to do the wrong thing. And today, let me tell you, I had some choice words from my parents today. I had some very, very choice words. I was a bitch. I turned into a bitch. A bitch bunny. A bad bunny. I was mean, like I was snippy, and I go, that's why I go, something's off. I go, I think I was drugged. Even my chest, my respiratory system felt strange. I should have checked my pupils, because pupil dilation, or because sometimes your pupils get bigger, depending on, I think, what the drug is. They can get dilated or they can become pinpoint, like really tiny. I just went like this. Isn't that 666? Doesn't that mean 666? 666. It is devilish, though. This whole thing is devilish. And the most frustrating part is I can't soften these people's hearts. So what do? These people, my family, were my lifeline. Everyone needs family, you know. And I feel like the forces that be, the evil motherfuckers facilitating this thing, whoever they are, they don't want me to have any support. 11:11 on the clock. They don't want me to have any support system. So maybe it is demonic. Because when I went like this, I didn't, you know, I said pinpoint like that. Oh, wait a second. Isn't that like a thing with the one eye thing? Don't they do that somewhere? 666. Like a one-eyed purple people eater. Maybe it's like a demonic cult. But in the Bible, I wonder, in the Bible, 666 is the mark of the beast, which is the devil. I mean, you have to be a devilish person to do this kind of stuff to people. And how does a family unit system, I'm not an investigator, but my mind thinks like that. How is it that a family system that was once built on love, unconditional love, kindness, goodness, my mom and I were so close, like we were so close. We say things at the same time. We would finish each other's sentences. Like, I almost consider my mom my best friend, but she and I were very close, and it's gone. She's mean. I don't know. I wondered if, you know, maybe they felt like, or they feel like this thing is it's too big for me, like it's too much of a burden, so, and then I'll never get the help that I need, so they probably wish to, like, you know, I know that sounds crazy, euthanize me. I had an extended family member a few years ago tell me, like, when I went to their house to stay with them to find peace and safety in Miami, this was a family that I grew up with, and their son is, he's probably a doctor now and practicing medicine in Miami, but I think he was studying psychiatry. But I remember we were sitting outside on the patio, and I was laying down on their bench, and he's like, so what if you die? And I'm like, no. I go, so-and-so. I go, I don't want to die, though. Why would you say, like, I was 28, 29 or whatever. I go, why would you say that? I don't want to die. I want to live. But this stalking, this incessant stalking and hacking and harassment, it's crazy. And he's like, but if you die, then it's over. You don't have to worry about it anymore. But I go, I don't want to die, bro. No one wants to die before their time. Nobody. That's why in America, we're so keen on, like, people get facelifts and Botox and, you know, they try to stay youthful and young, and, you know, people exercise and they do the gym stuff and collagen and protein, and we're searching for the fountain of youth, you know. Why would I want to die? Like, oh, because it's too hard? It's not too hard. This is not too hard. I guarantee you there's some dude or someone's calling the shots somewhere. My parents today were like, oh, well, if you're so psychic, then figure out who it is. And I was like, okay. I'll get some cards. I'll make my own cards, and, you know, we'll get some answers. I had some cards with letters on them, like the alphabet, and then certain things would come out, and I was like one of them said there was an ENT doctor. That was interesting. It said something, there's an ENT doctor that a name came out, and I was like, ENT? I'm like, for throat, whatever, and I was like, and my throat at the time was feeling funny. I felt like I had a lump in my throat. And I go, maybe I'll need an ENT down the line. Or for my sinuses, I don't know. But there were certain things that came out that I was like, okay, this makes sense now. because I didn't get any answers. No one was helping me. Law enforcement didn't help me. Everybody. So I was like, I have to figure it out myself. And now I'm sitting in an apartment in Chicago, Illinois, that I didn't want to move to because my gut told me not to, and still afraid to touch certain things. I think I get exposed to weird gases that can sedate me and make me tired, and then or drugs, because drugs can come in gas too, Scared to touch packages. I just don't know how this all came about from one police report on a man. And said dude, mind you, goes free. He's the one, I didn't wish any ill upon him. I just wanted him to leave me alone. He goes free. Meanwhile, I have to deal with the aftermath and the repercussions and the PTSD. How fucked up is that? Because I didn't have enough proof. Was I supposed to be wearing a body cam? Was I supposed to be wearing a body cam in Miami while I was studying to be an occupational therapist? No. Was I supposed to have a thing on my forehead with little, what? No. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Life, to lead a long life. Liberty, freedom, pursuit of happiness. To pursue a meaningful, formidable life that'll sustain you and bring you joy and find purpose in whatever town, society that you live in. That's what we're promised. But you have these narcissists, whoever the fuck are doing this stupid ass program, that are like, no, but you don't have free will. We're going to steal that from you, and we're going to torture the shit out of you because you're divinely chosen or have the light of God over your life, the hand of God. So we're going to push you to the breaking point just to see how protected you are. Because we're the demon spawn. We're the devil's minions, the flying monkeys. Like if you've seen the movie Wicked, and you see the little monkeys with the things on their back, that kind of thing. So stupid. What happened to tactfulness? What happened to professionalism? What happened to diplomacy? I mean, where's Congress? Like they must know. You have a bunch of people since the 80s, maybe the 70s, complaining about weird phenomena and shit, and everyone's just like turning a blind eye to it. Oh, no. All the therapists go, no. It's in your head. You're being delusional. No, you're reading more into it. Trust me, I know about cognitive distortions. When you become so traumatized, you affix on certain stimuli that may have no correlation to any sort of adverse, detrimental, negative stimulus. I get that. And you give relevance, or you bear relevance to a certain phenomenon. You're like, oh, that's associated with it, when it may not actually be associated at all. But that's the trauma. I know about trauma. I study this shit. Not in domestic violence or abuse. I mean, to some extent, but I know about it. It fucks with your nervous system, right? Because if you're exposed to a negative stimulus repetitively, your amygdala shrinks, your hippocampus shrinks, which governs short and long-term memory. Amygdala governs the fear center or the emotion center. You develop a lack of concentration and focus because you're in a hyper-vigilant state. Cortisol rushes through your veins. Majority of the times you're on edge and paranoid. So either you tremble or shake, or you become so spastic and rigid that you don't move, and there's maladaptive behaviors, there's different coping styles. There's avoidant coping styles, there's problem-focused coping, emotion-focused coping. There's people who are information seekers who want to know more about the why, There's desensitizers who literally go towards what they fear, in an effort to overcome it. And then there's the avoidant people who isolate and withdraw. I know this shit. I studied it. Lazarus and Folkman, stress response theory. And I'm not a know-it-all. It's so fucking frustrating, you know? It's so frustrating to be an educated individual, once healthcare professional. And because I can't even do what I love, bro. I'm not kidding when I say I went to work at hospitals. I went to interviews. And I walked into the premises. I walked into the facility, and I kid you not, if I wasn't wearing a mask or something, I could have fainted. And because I think they put stuff there too. So I don't know the brevity of this whole thing, of why me specifically. Why me? I don't have lightning bolts coming out of my fingers. I'm not Wolverine from X-Men. Or Jane Grey or whatever her name is. I'm a regular schmegular person. I have slight ESP, extrasensory perception. And there's 50 million psychics in the world, so I go, why me? Why me? I don't mean that in a self-pity. I don't need pity. And this is something I mentioned before. I don't know if my video got deleted before, but if you know about this shit and you're going to be a bystander, I don't tolerate that. I don't need sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I want empathy. I've been seeing a lot of the little white hearts emoji lately, and I'm like, I want empathy. I want people to be proactive. Because if it was reversed and you, as the viewer, were going through what I'm going through, I would save you. Nothing would stop me. Man, woman, child, I don't care. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're a trans person. I don't care who the fuck you are. I would save you. Because you are human. Because we are flesh and blood. We are bone. We are the same. That's what's different between this distinction between myself and the other people. So I sit here and I go, what do I do? Do I stay here in a place that I know that I don't feel welcome, that I don't feel safe? And just try to pretend that everything's going to be okay for another 3 months? Or do I take the risk or take a divinely guided chance? My reading said that yesterday. And do I follow my heart? But then, to be honest, I feel like everywhere is going to be rigged. Maybe it would be different, a little different than Chicago. But when I was in Philadelphia, I can't afford Philadelphia. It's too expensive now. But when I was in Philadelphia, I didn't have this issue. I was still being targeted or whatever and provoked, but the food was fine. The water was fine. Same thing in Vermont. Sometimes the milk will be a little funky and the acai, but for the most part, I was able to tolerate it. I had really nice Instacart people, you know. Here, I'm like public enemy number one. And I'm not a gangster. I'm not that cool. Not that gangsters are cool, but you know what I mean. I'm not Al Capone, you know. And I pulled cards again, and it says I have neurological issues, unhealthy, inflammation, muscular needs abnormal, bad, due to targeting, EMF, radiation, Havana syndrome, whatever. So living a normal life is not easy. Everyone else gets to wake up in the morning, take their showers in their non-tainted shower, while I have to eat foods that are possibly tampered with. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. I don't know. Because they're sealed. Some of the things, because I'll eat, for instance, sorry, fly. There's a fly on the wall. Maybe literally, maybe there is a fly on the wall. The metaphor, someone's spying on me, a fly on the wall. Usually when I see that, it's, got it. Yeah, got it. I have pretty good reflexes, I think. So this is my predicament. If anyone, by the way, out there, I didn't even expect myself to even do this on YouTube. I've reached out to everyone. And if you say, oh, reach out to the shelters, reach out to this and that, because I have like no money to my name. I have a lot of debt that I owe, and I don't want to rely on my parents because at this point it feels toxic. But if anyone knows of any resources or has ideas, and if someone says, oh, go abroad, listen, that can't happen right now. Unless I found a safe place, a trustworthy country, because, to be honest, I feel like this is a global thing. I don't know how prevalent it is in other countries, but I feel like it's a global thing. And if you say, oh, but then get a visa, I can't afford that. I can't afford a visa. And I think it'll happen. It doesn't matter. Because if someone has my phone, right, hacked, they'll know what mode of transportation I go on. They'll know, they'll know. They'll know everything. They'll know what room I'm in. They'll know the hotel. They'll know the car. So I guarantee, like, let's say I went to Italy right now, right? Because I do. Italy was wonderful when I went years ago. But I think that'll be like Chicago. No offense. And I get ads all the time on my Instagram. Oh, like, this town will pay you X amount of euros to go live in Spain or whatever. And I'm like, I told myself, I don't want to ever move somewhere because it's a last resort, right? I don't want to do something out of impulsivity or as like a desperation move. If I moved somewhere, I need to have money saved. You need to have the visa. You need to be ready to make that commitment to that country, because it's not just like, oh, I'm going to go to the country and just backpack and go into hostels. No. That would be a permanent move for me. So to me, getting on a boat or getting on a wherever and going to another country, because these people don't want me here, they think I'm a problem, who knows why. If the same thing happens over there, then that's it. Right? I go there and then I get gang stalked by Italian police officers, and they're cute. I've seen pictures of Italian policemen. Man, they're like super good looking. But like, I think they're called polizie. But I don't need to make that trip, and then I go, and then let's say I'm eating prosciutto in a piazza, right? I go to the gelato store and I'm like, oh my God, I'm free. I'm free. I made it here. Thank you, God. And I go and let's say I have the gelato, and then all of a sudden I start to have a weird allergic reaction again, then boom, all over. Then I go, great. So I really don't. And then so you tell yourself, what do? Do you bloom where you're planted? Do you... Because my parents keep reminding me, and they keep saying, we're keeping you... I was going to say keeping you homeless. That was another Freudian slip. I meant to say keeping you from being homeless, and I said we're keeping you homeless. So maybe they do want me homeless. Interesting. 2 Freudian slips now. Gang stalking, I said about my family. That they're gang stalking, and then that they want me homeless. Which I never thought. I know my father probably doesn't want the burden of paying for another lease. And I don't want... If anyone has some guidance on this, please let me know. And if you say, oh, get a job, I'm working on it. I've been applying to jobs, but I also have been trying to survive bullshit with food and water, because my day, literally, it's 11:30 p.m. right now, Central Standard Time. My day is not like your people's days. Like, I know this sounds gross. I'm kind of turned into a hippie, but sometimes I will skip out on a shower because, like I said, I take a shower and I feel so weak after. So weak, like all my energy gets zapped and drained out of me, and that lasts for like the whole day, and I don't know what it is, what I'm showering in. So I'll do that, or I'll fall asleep in the clothes that I have on. I've been scared to wear clothes. I'm not kidding. I feel like the detergent I have is tampered with too. I think they put some weird I was gonna say cyanide. I hope not. I hope not. I hope they didn't put cyanide in my laundry detergent pods. That would be really shitty. I can't even afford to do my laundry when you think about it. I can't even afford it. Because the laundry, you have to pay for laundry here. I know that's a common thing in New York and whatever, in Chicago, maybe San Francisco, maybe Miami, but I was very used to having a washer dryer in my apartments. But what I was going to say is that if anyone has any place for safe refuge, because at this point, I'm scared to go on an Airbnb and stay with a stranger because I know that that's an option. You could do that. But given everything that I've gone through, I don't think that's wise. I just don't, because you don't know the person. And if imagine, if I have pedestrians walking past me making snarky comments or being stupid, can you imagine a stranger on Airbnb, how they can be paid off? Oh, put something on her doorknob over here. Put on her soap on the pump when she uses her hand. Put this on the soap pump. Put this on the utensils so that she eventually kicks the bucket, or That's what happens, folks. That's what this is about. So my life is not like yours. If you're someone that lives a normal life, mine is not like yours. I have to second guess everything. I have to use my discernment, my intuition. I've had to rough it up a bit, kind of turn into a hippie, I've grown a lot, but this is very unfair. And I feel like everyone knows, right? Except me. Like there's something that someone's not telling me. I feel like there's a message that needs to get to me and it's not. And I feel like someone's intercepting that. I don't know if it's a spiritual message or an actual letter. But literally my life, and trying to prove poison and druggings is so hard, especially if especially if there are bad people within those networks or systems and stuff that are broken, because it is broken. I'm not putting down the Trump administration, because this happened before when it was, and it's funny because I do little surveys, right? Like, and they ask, what are your opinions of the president? I'm like, I don't know, I put somewhat favorable. Like there's different spectrums of, and I put somewhat favorable, whatever. And then for President Biden, it says, what do you think of President? And I put somewhat favorable. This was happening when other people were, so it's not like, I don't even think it's there. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me thinks, because why? What good would the government do stalking its own people? Doesn't even make sense. It's not logic. It's illogical. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, I don't know what to do, And this is how I know my legs are swollen. Like, because I drink my foot looks like a club foot right now. Because my legs are usually skinny twigs because I haven't eaten as much. But look at that, my leg looks huge. That's because I think I'm allergic to something that they put in. Look at my leg looks huge, bro. My leg looks huge. And I'm a skinny stick now because I lost a lot of weight. Because it's not fluid retention, it's swelling. Because of when you're allergic to something, It's crazy. So if anyone has any suggestions, and please don't, and you don't have to be targeted to tell me, but if you have any suggestions at all, I am all ears, because I know there's couch surfing, I know Airbnb, I know there's Furnished Finder, I know there's trusted house sitters, there's adventure something cool where, I've tried everything. And the thing is, I want to follow the rules. I don't want to charge my credit card. And my parents keep instilling in me, like, you're a thief if you do that. And I'm like, this is an emergency because I don't feel safe here. I feel like I'm in danger here. I feel like people want my head on a stake in this town, and I don't know why. I don't know if this is like a mafia town. I know Frank Sinatra has a song called Chicago, Chicago, but like, so I will say that if you do want to support me at all, I did have a GoFundMe before. I don't really want to do that and ask for money. I'd rather work. I realized I think I'm going to get rid of my GoFundMe pages because I don't want to beg for money. I'd rather work and be productive. So I'm going to channel that energy. I'm going to try to figure out how to, I don't know, into artistry or creativity somehow. I do like to sing. I don't really know what, I don't care about, like I always said, if I did singing, it would be to a baby, you know, to like when I have my own daughter or my own son, to help. And I used to, when I worked in childcare, when I worked in the NICU and I worked as an infant teacher, I would sing to the babies. Not when my coworkers were around, but it was like when I was by myself and I would be holding a baby and we were in ratio, because you have to have a certain ratio when you work in childcare, like one teacher for every 4 babies or whatever. And I used to sing to the babies, and I thought about it. I'm like, that would be a fun way to, you know, but I don't want to do, like, that's not my, I know, no disrespect to people who are professional singers, like that's their career, you know, musicians, like that's the path they chose. I didn't want that path, because everyone has their niche and everyone has their calling. And I had my calling, and I had it robbed from me because I was freaking exposed to chemicals and aerosol and gas and shit, and I didn't deserve that. So that's why I look for remote work, because I'm like, and if you say, oh, go work on a farm, go work, you know, I applied to be a deck hand person at a place in Vermont. I kid you not. I said, let me do outdoor work. I was like, and it was like $15 an hour. I applied to be a deckhand as a boat maintenance thing because it was outdoors. I was thinking about being a camp counselor. I thought of everything. Au pair, I thought about that. I really want to get rid of my flowers in my vase. That's another thing. I bought flowers recently from Julasco, and I took pictures and I did a Yelp review for them because I like to do Yelp reviews on the side. And I didn't realize that white is like indicative of like sympathy and like funerals, and I'm like, I'm not manifesting death today. We're not about that. We're not manifesting death in this household, even if it's just a household of me, myself, like my dog, and God. I was like, I'm not manifesting death. Not today. Not today, Satan. Wherever the fuck you are, motherfucker. You know. You can't have my fucking soul. Because I never used to believe in the devil. Like, I knew it was talked about in the Bible, you know, like how they talk about Lucifer, Satan, 666, the eye of the mark of the beast kind of thing. But I never actually believed that it could be a physical entity. And I do think I came face to face with that when I was back home living in Miami, and this was all like at its peak. And this weird shadowy figure that, oh, okay, so there was a picture in 9/11. I'm sorry if this is a trigger warning, and if anyone lost anyone in 9/11, I'm sorry. Like, I bawled, like Disney did a documentary on 9/11, and I bawled my eyes out. In the book that I'm reading, that the former Secret Service lady wrote, she did a recollection. She recalled her experience suffering and going through 9/11 as a Secret Service agent, and I was crying when I read that. I was like, this is terrible, and I imagined it happening, you know, even now when I think about it. But the reason why I mentioned that is because the smoke from the towers billowed up, and there was a picture, I'll never forget, I don't remember how old I was, there was a picture where the clouds, the smoke formed the face of like what looked like a devilish figure, and I will never forget that. And that same formation is something that I saw come towards me in my room when I was back in Miami. And I didn't believe in spiritual warfare and all that stuff. I didn't believe in it. I still kind of don't want to. But all of this stuff going on is extremely demonic, devilish, evil, monstrous. Not like Monsters Inc. cute, you know, the little jazz piano. Not like that. This is evil. Resident evil. Because no human, I said this before, happy people don't hurt people. I don't wake up in the morning going, how can I seek retribution on the people who tried to undermine my life? I tried to get my parents to see that what's happening to me. I go, if someone's hurting me, like let's say they're putting venom or someone's putting venom in my food or my water, right? I told my dad, I go, okay, would you want that to happen to you? So let me go find a place where I can get venom or cyanide or something and put it in your food, and how would you feel? I was trying to get him to wake up and smell the coffee, in a sense. And empathy is your ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. I also feel like my parents want a death grip on my life, you know. You can't do that to your daughter or anyone. If you're a parent and you're listening, don't do that to your kids. You have to let your kids fall. You have to let your kids make mistakes. You have to let your kids be kids, even when they're adults. That's their plight. That's what they have to learn. And if they come back to you, great. If they don't, then that's it. But if you are someone who, and I'm really going on, I mean, I have nothing to lose because I don't have anything in my name anymore. Even my clothes, I'm determining how the fuck I'm going to go through my clothes. I'm not kidding. One of them is in a black trash bag. They used a white trash bag and a black one. And I put on a sweater. When we went from Indiana to Chicago, I went from the Airbnb in Indiana to here. My parents took my clothes to a laundromat, and I was like, thank you so much. I thanked them profusely. I was like, thank you so much for doing that for me. The following day, I put on, I don't know what outfit, or I used my blanket. This one, actually. It was this one. I got this from a wonderful company. It's called Adore Me. I got really into laundry. I promise I'm not a whore. I promise. I was a Virgo. I am a Virgo. I was a virgin until 32, and I used to walk past the Victoria's Secret store, and this was when Giselle Bundchen was the model and Adriana Lima, and I was like, because I was raised Catholic, I was like, no. I was like, I thought lingerie was like a sin. I was like, I cannot, and their butt was showing, and I was like, they're beautiful women, tall, skinny, you know, and I was like, I never wanted to even venture into those stores. And then, you know, once I started to be sexually active, again, don't mind sharing it, if it helps a girl in her dorm room who's going through a hard time with her boyfriend or being harassed by guys, then consider me your virtual big sister. You know, maybe I'll make a YouTube channel, your virtual big sister, and let me impart, you know, my experience to you, so you don't experience what I'm going through, because it all stemmed and started with one guy, with one man, and you know, I always thought it was sinful, sex was this and that, and my whole perspective on the whole thing changed completely. And this blanket is from, and it doesn't look as cute, it's like has Christmas trees on it, it's like Christmas time, and it's really soft and like cuddly. I think it's made of fleece. But I put this on me in the night before that we were going to Chicago, and I don't know how to explain it. I felt trapped in my body. It was like my body froze. Like my nerves felt like they were on fire, and I felt like I was trapped in my body. Like I couldn't, my motor capabilities were stunted. I felt like talking was weird. It was very strange. I don't know what it was, and it scared me. And I was like, Ashley, just breathe. You're okay. Just breathe. And it kind of reminded me, because I know people that have cerebral palsy. I don't know if it's muscular dystrophy or cerebral palsy. It's when you're like locked in your body and you become very spastic and rigid. And it felt like that. Like I felt like I was trapped in my body, if that makes sense. And I go, did someone? And I was like, I think it was my blanket. I was like, I think something was on my blanket. Or maybe it was technology, I don't know. But it scared me nonetheless. So, you know. And I go, maybe it was their detergent. Maybe they didn't realize it was their, that they were using bad detergent. I think it was my detergent, actually. Oh, shit. And that's the one I used. Damn it. Fuck. Because the same one I had in Indiana was the one I have now, so that's great. How someone was able to mess with my laundry detergent is beyond me, because I use the pods. I just feel like there's a clan of individuals that really doesn't like me. They have to be devil worshippers or something. Because this is not normal. Unless they're not devil worshippers and they worship God and Christ and they think that sacrificing someone is okay, which it's not. Sometimes I've heard, there was a story of one girl in Quora who she said she was being targeted, her and her cat or her dog were being targeted so heavily that I think they tried to give her leukemia because they targeted her legs and stuff. Look at how big oh my God. I know it doesn't look that big, but it feels like that. It's swollen like my ankle. It's lowering a bit, but anyhow, I don't know what else, if you are someone and you hear my story and you have a little bit of empathy in your heart, I know I'm a stranger, but if you have any resources, I was gonna say have a place I never thought I'd be asking on YouTube. I don't know what to do. Because this building I don't feel safe. And my food is not, I go, how am I gonna survive another 3 months of this? How? I don't know. Because trafficking, they get you in elevators, all it takes is one hit, that's it. One hit, and that's it. I can't, cheat death every time. There's only so many lives, like the cat with the 9 lives. There's so many lives that one can have. So, and I know I did my little inspiration wall. I put, you can do hard things that scare you, face your fears. But it's not, that's like something like, let's say I had a fear of public speaking. Like I'm kind of afraid to like sing on a YouTube channel. Like I don't even know what I'd be doing it for. Like unless someone really enjoys my voice or something, or I just didn't ever think about doing that. But like let's say I have a fear of public speaking, that's the kind of thing when you face your fears. But living in an apartment building where someone could possibly traffic you or kill you is not my idea of when you say face your fears. So if anyone has any advice, I have reached out to former classmates, colleagues. I did consider maybe going back to Miami, but I don't think that would be a smart move, just because Miami's super expensive and you kind of need a car to get around. I did tell myself though that I wanted to, I said, if I'm really at the end of my life, like let's say I lose my life over this. My mom's convinced that I won't. She's like, no, you're not gonna die. And I'm like, But let's just say, that could happen. Anyone could pass away. But let's say these people get their way and whatever, they use something on me that I can't fix, because they want to do science or whatever. And, which is rude and a violation of my human rights, but we're not going to get into that, right? you know, I told myself, what would make me happy right now? If everything was copacetic and I had no issue, like, what would I want to do if I found out that I had what X amount of years, like, not years, maybe that's a 14 step, I said years to live, but, so maybe I am going to live, because I'm, I said years to live, but if I, you know, what would I do right now? If I really could, if I didn't have to worry about jobs, work, whatever, I'd want to live on a coastline, not in a condo somewhere, just like a small Airbnb off the coast of, I don't say Florida, but like Florida was my home and I still have my driver's license there, and do yoga, read, maybe learn how to go fishing. I'd have to meet a guy that knows how to fish, because I don't know. Even though I'd be kind of scared to do it, to be honest, because like you have to lift the little hooks and put the bait on it, and it's funny. I'm laughing because for the first time, you know how on Bumble they have, if you're a girl, you can relate to this. There's all these guys that have pictures of them holding fish, and they're like, you know, and it's like for the first time, the fish guy may come in handy. You know, not a hunter. I don't know, the guys that hold a deer in their hands and they're like, you know, I don't know about that, but like maybe a guy that knows how to fish would be very helpful right about now, because you know, all my food, everything is just, and I don't know if that's a behavioral modification thing. I feel like people are trying to get me to not eat carbs. And I will say though, my reading yesterday did mention, it said vegan, vegetarian. It said healthy eating, but I don't like that stuff. Like I'm never gonna eat carrots. Like, you know how they have in the supermarket the little carrots in the container with like the ranch or whatever? I will never eat. I gag, like I literally gag. Like I have a reflex, not a reflex, that sounds derogatory. I have a sensory thing. Like I don't like mushy foods, squash, bananas, not sweet potato. I actually like potatoes. Potatoes I don't mind. But like green beans aren't bad. Snap peas aren't bad. Crunchy textures I don't mind. Edamame, panko, but like, you know, like grapes, like when you bite into a grape and it's like all the guts come out, like it's ew, like I don't want that. Strawberries, no. Oranges, if you put them in a juice, maybe. Acai is like the one thing that I tolerate, and I'm very proud of myself for venturing in that path, because like I never used, like blueberries, will not eat blueberries regular. I wish I could, I just don't. It's a sensory thing. Maybe I am on the spectrum. Maybe I am on the spectrum a little bit, but whatever. I don't give a shit. It makes no difference. I like myself how I am, but I need to figure out a game plan, because I'm not thriving here. I'm not happy here. I know some people, they like hustle bustle and they like the city, but that's not me anymore. People change. If I could go down to the country, you know, I would go down to the, you know, not the bayou. I think the bayou, isn't that like Louisiana? The bayous too. Louisiana, I heard, is a lot of fun. I've heard they have really good beignets. That's the last thing I need, right, with sugar. They do beignets, I think. But I think beignets are like churros, like the American version of churros. If you don't know what churros are, it's like fried dough, and then they put like sugar and cinnamon. Oh my god, it's so good. And then you dip it in hot chocolate. Oh. You see, that's how I know I love food. I don't have an eating disorder. I love food. There's a joke, I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. That's my diet. And because of weird shit that was going on, I feel like people are trying to do behavior modification to get me to not eat, you know, crap. But I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want the like I don't want fruits with, like I just don't want it. I don't want it. If I'm gonna have vegetables, they're gonna be seasoned and roasted and semi-decent, because I ain't gonna have I'm not like mushrooms. Mushrooms are going in a marsala sauce. I'm not gonna eat a mushroom. Like there was on Uber Eats, it's called True Food Kitchen here in Chicago, and they have like this bowl and it has like quinoa with like little chickpeas and they put avocado. It looks beautiful, but I'm like, I don't want this shit. That's not gonna fill me up. I want the chicken parm. I want the lasagna. It's all Italian food. I want the taquitos. I want the fish tacos. I want margarita pizza, which is not even that bad for you. It's fior di latte, the buffalo mozzarella or fior di latte mozzarella with a hint of, marinara sauce or pomodoro sauce with basil sprigs. Drizzle the extra virgin cold pressed olive oil. Nice kind of Napoli style or Roman style pizza. That's mwah, delicious. But I don't know if I'm ever gonna have food like that again. So, but if you are someone that sincerely, and you're not crazy, and you're not, a psychopath serial killer, and if you're looking for a roommate, and if you're willing to tolerate someone who, has been through a lot of shit, and you're willing to not leave your air conditioner on, because the AC, I'm kind of traumatized by that because I had weird gases I know that sounds weird, but it's the truth. I'm not making it up. Like, I literally think I was exposed to like refrigerants and nitrous and aerosol stuff. It made me feel very cold. So if anyone's looking for a roommate